Hey, welcome back to another live stream for News in General. I'm Cole Kruper, the co-owner of News in General. You can follow me on Twitter at CK270. We also have Erwin with us tonight, and we also have Jason Goyette with us as well. You can follow him on Twitter at Jason Goyette. We had a lot of interesting topics to cover tonight, and a lot of interesting topics tonight to cover. I think a lot of which are going to cover a lot of which are going to bring on some very interesting opinions and so on. So let's jump right into it, Jason. So here's the first topic.
All right. First topic is some games can be a knockout. Now that basically refers to the knockout game that's been recently in the media. And basically what it is a bunch of teenagers go around, walking around in public. They find a person, they bet each other to knock this person out, and they will pay them money if they do. So let's go ahead and dive into that. Erwin, what's your thoughts on that? Have you seen this? Have you heard of it over there?
Jason,
yep.
Explain that a little bit more.
Okay, a little bit more.
The premise of the game and why they're doing this, blah blah blah.
Why they're doing this? Well, they're doing it for money. That's what they're doing it for. Because obviously they make the bet, they do it to win, and they like doing it. They obviously do it to prove that they're big and strong or whatever, or they can knock somebody out. So,
is this just in the United States, or is this like a epidemic all over the world?
Well, so far I've only caught it in the United States. I didn't look if it's in Japan or whatever. It could be. That's why I was going to ask Erwin if he's seen it over there in Holland, or if he's heard of it over there.
No, it isn't big here. I've never heard of it before. A game like this. So I've do not have seen any videos on YouTube in this sort of games, so I don't know a lot of it. So
basically, what you can do if you haven't seen the YouTube videos is just search up knockout game on YouTube, and there's tons of videos on there. Just take a look at those, and you can see what I'm talking about. How devastating and kind of crazy somebody could come up with this type of game and think that it's fun.
Yes.
How can that be fun of beating somebody? There was one girl that was pregnant. Okay, let me quote this here. Mark Cumberland was walking out of a pizza shop when someone approached him asking for a cigarette. Before he could get his hand out of his pocket, there was 4 kids on top of him beating him. Cumberland tells CBS, this is a quote, "There's no reason at all. I mean, I didn't get robbed. They didn't take anything from me. They just beat me up. It was hard seeing, and I'm still having trouble breathing and swallowing." So there was obviously no reason. He didn't know the people. They just all of a sudden came across him and just knocked him out or tried to beat him up.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Well,
pretty insane, in my opinion.
When you think about it,
people are saying that this is a hate thing because there's been a lot of videos on YouTube with African Americans beating up white guys. So a lot of people are saying that this is has to do with racism or something like that. And what do you think? What do you think about that, Erwin? Do you think it has to do with racism, or do you think it's just like people say, it's just the people that's uploading the video?
Before you go at it,
I think they just do it for the video.
Just do it for the video?
Making hits like a black man hits a white guy, so I think they do it for the hits.
Okay, yeah.
For the hit rate.
I want to say this.
Yep.
It's nothing new.
No. Well, yeah.
The game itself might be new.
Yeah, no.
Beating up people.
Well, the game is not
new.
The game's been around for a while.
Like that particular story about a man came up to him asking for a cigarette, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
And how many times that has happened quite often in many different situations. They ask for a cigarette, and they and when they do get a chance to say no, next thing happens is they pull a gun or a knife.
Yeah.
It's happened many times.
The reason why is the reason behind asking. This reason is to beat the guy up. You try to distract him so he.
Well, I think in this case, the guy would have had the shit beat out of him either way.
Yeah.
He wasn't really given much of a chance. It was just kind of to startle him at first, probably say, "Hey, can I have a cigarette?" And that's gonna
keep him off guard.
You're gonna think about that for a second, like, huh, what? And then done.
And then bam, yeah. And the guy I believe is arrested. They're in jail. All the young kids that were doing this are in jail.
Well, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But could it be a racial thing? Yeah, probably. Depends how you look at it, though.
It depends. Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of racism that could play into it, not just from the aggressive point of view either.
Yeah. It could be from the people uploading videos to YouTube, like you were.
No, not necessarily. It may not be racism in that sense. Just a weird bias with them. what could be happening with people beating them. Yes, it could be racist. They could have something against the whites, because it was a white man and a pregnant woman, right, getting beaten.
Yeah.
Now, chances are these people that are doing this are poor and underprivileged, so they haven't had much of a chance in life. Their parents probably didn't care too much about them, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So you got all that playing into a factor. They didn't grow up very well.
No.
And then people get desperate and they do stupid things like that, and they come up with stupid games like that because you put a bunch of bad people together and they're going to come up with bad things.
Yeah. So let me say something. Some of the games, some of the things that they do, some of the people that challenge these guys to go knock them out. They don't. Some of them do it for money. Some of them don't. Some of them do it just because they want to see if they can knock somebody out.
Yeah, well, some people too. Remember, if these people are poor, they really don't have much in life to begin with.
Yeah.
So they don't have much to lose either.
Yeah, that's true. So they
don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care, and they get a thrill.
Well, there's an awful lot of people out there that don't care then.
And then why they get a thrill of this, I don't know. They're just sick.
And what I don't understand is where the hell is the parents at with all this? Because these kids are young. These kids are pretty young.
It comes back to what I said originally.
Yeah.
If they grew up in an underprivileged household, in an underprivileged neighborhood, with underprivileged people, neighbors, underprivileged parents, they probably don't give a shit. Like no one really cares about anything. So anything goes on, anything goes. These people their parents probably don't care. They just see them whenever. That's probably what happens.
So then, would you say it's only underprivileged kids that are doing this, or would you say that it goes throughout everybody?
It could be. I think you probably see it more with poor people, and some people
like the projects or some type of
because think about it. When you're poor, people get very, very desperate when they're poor.
Yeah.
People don't have much when they're poor, so they don't have much to lose if they do go to jail. If they get arrested. If the parents don't care, the parents aren't going to get pissed off.
Yeah.
So a lot of it could be, just that having a really, really bad childhood. Like all of that led up to this, and then of course, like outside agencies that way. Is anyone really doing anything about it? No, we just push them away. That is the solution. When you have a bad neighborhood, eventually it's going to get torn down, and eventually, because chances are these people are just squatting there anyways, in some really bad neighborhoods. So they'll just tear it down and push them away, and the crime goes elsewhere.
And then they're going to lash out at people.
And then everybody wonders why crime got so bad in another neighborhood. Well, you tore down their other hideout.
So I want to ask this. You asked this earlier, and I just want to do it on the live show for the people that are watching. You guys can comment down below. Do you think that if Martin Luther King was alive today, now it kind of doesn't tie into this, but do you think if Martin Luther King was alive today, things would be different? I want to ask the viewers that too.
I think racism-wise, probably could be, because he had
he was a powerful man.
He had a very powerful message.
Yes.
Man, he was the one that had the balls to finally stand up against this crap.
Yes.
It had been going on for years. Segregation here, segregation there. Blacks being treated like crap. He finally had the guts to say, "Hey, you know what? This isn't right. We're all human." And if he was still around, could things be different? Yeah, his message could have been spread to more people. Today, I bet many other people have no idea who the guy is. Martin Luther King, never heard of him. Sad, but
that is sad.
Because he was such a powerful, very, very important man.
And you think if he was so powerful and important, everybody would know who he is.
You'd think, but 40 years have passed since he died.
There you go. Yeah, so the younger generation isn't being taught, about the past and about who he was and what he did, and
and then
the message he was spreading.
Because remember, you have to know history to prevent history.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
If you don't know history, it's just going to happen over and over and over again. So, that could be what's happening, except in a reverse way now. Because if the blacks are doing this, and I'm going to get back to that in a second. Then maybe racism is playing a role there, just in the opposite way as it was 100 years ago. But you look on YouTube as well. You see all these videos, like you mentioned, you've seen a lot of African Americans fighting the whites, and of course, one situation, a pregnant woman and a man, right? Obviously, terrible this happened. But how many times has a white guy done this, and no one has gone unnoticed? For sure.
Plenty, but it's gone unnoticed, like you said.
It's gone unnoticed because if people did see it, they didn't find it very interesting. But as soon as you have the opposites in race and ethnicity, as soon as you have that ethnic difference, that's when people get interested. That's when people start uploading the videos. So that's why the video results you get on YouTube could present a little bit of a bias to you, because the people that uploaded them in the first place, they only were interested in that. So it shows a bit of bias, and when no one notices it again, it goes back to how people were, programmed by a lot of people to think that people who are black are bad and thugs and criminals. people were programmed like that. You even see police saying that. Is that
Oh
right?
yeah,
No, it's a
absolutely.
terrible stereotype because they're not all thugs. They're not all criminals. Some of them are very, very good
Oh
people.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And there's bad people in every ethnicity. So obviously pinpointing them may not be right. Now, like the only reason that these people in this situation are getting getting noticed is because they could be a part of a minority of some sort.
Yeah.
And that's why they're getting noticed. Two white guys going at it, it's the same. No one cares. Sad that works that way. Then it looks very, very bad on another ethnicity because they see some people doing that. It's like when you look at another country. A lot of people will base the people of a country on one person. Not fair.
Yeah, yeah. I want to get your opinion on that video I sent you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a link in the description of this live stream of that video that I'm talking about. Let you viewers watch it, and I want to get his opinion on the live show. Basically, it's a guy discussing about all the beating up, all the fighting and stuff. You've watched it, haven't you, Cole? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I did. What I found very interesting, you might be a little less biased to that one video.
Yeah.
From the voice that I heard, it sounds like an African American individual.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is very, very interesting. But if he's going off what he's seen on YouTube too, he may not realize it, as many people may not. But he could also be getting a biased point of view. Like, yes, he's very right with the points he brings up. It's terrible. It's wrong. Why the hell are these people laughing? Why are these people getting the thrill out of it?
Yeah, they're so happy that they've knocked out this guy for no reason at all.
Yeah, but when people grow up with this type of crime, I think, but they're growing up very, very rough neighborhoods. How many times have they seen someone killed?
Oh, probably every day. Who knows?
So it's not going to bother them at this point.
Yeah.
So is it sick? Yeah. Is it sick they're getting a thrill of it? Yeah. It's actually royally screwed up.
Who would you bother? Or who would you say it's their fault? Who would you put the fault on?
I think it really comes down to their upbringing, really. Okay. Because like if they're just teenagers, a lot of their values, like if the parents don't care, then the kid's going to do whatever they want, and they're going to learn from other people who also don't really care either. So they're really getting a really bad outlook on life.
Yeah.
And
the internet plays a big role, and also YouTube, that people can like it, share it, and have fun about it.
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
The guys think that, oh, look how many likes I got, and this should be fun, or people like this, and
then they keep doing more videos of it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it goes over. Like think about I guess like Jason, when you were in school, this probably didn't happen as much, but today, like people are fighting, they all have their phones on. Recording it.
Yeah, no, it didn't happen. Actually.
You're a little too old for that. Like not by much. Yeah. You just missed that.
Yeah, I just missed it,
but today they do that. Is it sick? Yeah. But nobody helps. Like I'm sure back then no one helped either. They just watched. They just watched then.
That's what I note in the article. You can look at all the articles in the description below if you want to read them. But I note that in my article that how can the people just stand by and watch this, especially a pregnant woman being beat the crap out of?
Well, I'll tell you why.
How can they do that?
Well, it's very sad, but no one wants to help anybody today. No one wants to get involved. Think about all those other cases.
You pay me money, then I'll help you.
You remember that story where I wrote about a blind man getting the shit
beat? That's what I was going to refer to back in the article.
Well, he's getting the shit pounded out of him, and there's a bunch of guys watching. Cars didn't bother stopping because nobody wants to get involved. No one wants to get hurt. No one wants anything. No one wants any involvement because if they get involved, and then they got to wait around for the cops, probably do a statement, which is the right thing to do, obviously.
See, the thing is, with this story I have a problem with is you can't really get hurt by a bunch of young female, teenagers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's, they look like there was like 14, 13 years old. And there's, men standing around in this bus. They're on a bus at this time. I think it's a bus or a subway. The whole compartment is filled with people. And there's a pregnant girl being beat the crap out of, and there's only one guy sticking up for her, and that's her boyfriend.
Unfortunately, that happens. Well, yeah, because the boyfriend has the most ties to her. He knows her. Exactly. That's why. And his hands are kind of tied when they're all being ganged up.
Yeah, female.
Even if he is a strong guy, you get enough people in there, he's not going to be able to do much of anything. Yeah. Unfortunately, his hands may have been very well tied if no one wanted to help him.
Yeah.
Is it terrible people didn't want to help him? Yeah, it's terrible. But no one today wants to get involved. People are too involved with what they're doing in cell phones. Yeah. People are too involved in themselves because.
Yeah. Very good.
But I could get hurt. Oh, no! I just watched someone get the shit. Probably die. We'll just watch that instead. Terrible.
Would you do that? Would you be the person to sit by? Because I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. No, I'd get up.
Yeah.
And I'd say, and if the other people didn't want to get up when it was all said and done, I'd call them all the most useless people I ever seen, useless scumbags I ever seen.
Well, see, the thing is what I do I've done this since I was like 14 years old. I always
Mhm.
carried some type of weapon on me.
Yeah,
Anything happens like that, I'm gonna defend myself, and if I see somebody about to die, I'm gonna defend them as well.
as you should.
There you go. Yeah.
Like think about it. Let's think about this. Look at animals themselves.
Yeah.
With their young, go try to fight. Go get too close to one of them.
Oh no.
Chances
Especially
are they'll
geese.
fight you.
Especially geese. Geese. Oh god.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I got used to the geese got used to me. They didn't fight me anymore.
Oh god. That's a remedy. That's a remedy. Get Cole Cooper.
But if you come in a threatening manner, they're going to fight you.
Yeah.
But
Of course,
but we've kind of been brainwashed to think fighting back is bad. Because in a lot of cases, like obviously the U.S. in certain states has laws to prevent this from happening.
Yeah.
But in some cases, you'll get arrested for defending yourself.
Oh, of course.
Or defending someone else.
I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
I've seen
Which
it
is
firsthand.
terrible. Like
Yeah.
you or someone else may have been killed, but you injured someone or you killed someone else because he was had a gun, he was going to hurt you.
Yeah.
But, and they get arrested. And that could
Exactly.
also play a role in why no one wants to get involved.
Yeah.
No one wants anything to do with it. Everyone's too busy what they're doing. They want to get home. The game on tonight. Do I want to wait around or want to see the game? Ooh.
Let's get Erwin's opinion on that. Would you fight back, Erwin?
Erwin?
Erwin, you there?
He's frozen up.
Uh-oh. Yeah, his picture's on there now.
Yeah, he's.
Please
We'll see
have
going.
internet problems. Okay, yeah. Let's get back to him once he comes back. I want to know
Yeah,
what you
but think about that, Jason. That's why no one wants to do anything. Is it sad? Is it terrible? Yes.
It is, of course.
But it's so common that nobody wants to do anything because these are the reasons I just
They're
mentioned.
too with themselves, or too, worried about themselves.
And that happens here too.
Yeah.
Actually, something very
Happens
similar
everywhere,
happened here. Like
Yeah.
right here in the city, what happened is basically there was a guy on an LRT train, so basically like a little subway type thing. And you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm listening.
you just weren't moving. I was concerned the same thing was happening to you.
I'm processing it.
Yeah, sorry. So anyway, yeah, I keep going now. Anyways, what happened is they were on the train or whatever in one of the cars, and this guy started beating the shit out of someone. Okay,
Mhm.
and nobody did anything. They just all watched, and he beat the shit out of them for like 10 minutes, like just going and going and going. Like the guy was
wow.
unconscious by the time the train stopped.
Stepped in, definitely. I would have stepped in with a gun.
And the guy was unconscious and was, I believe, dead by the time they got him to the hospital.
Oh god, don't tell me that.
So, because what the police did, the police were ready, and they decided the train should keep going through another station, and they got it to stop elsewhere. And the police were the only ones that were able to do anything. They got in, they arrested the guy, did their job.
The thing is, people, a lot of people out there, when they see somebody die, somebody they don't even know, a complete stranger, they have no problem. They're just like, oh yeah, I don't know the person. But when I see somebody that I don't even know die, it hurts. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like you look at the front of the newspaper and you see, some. Like, I remember this actually. Something happened recently too. Last year, was a old man in his 80s. He's in his backyard, and these guys came in, beat the shit out of him and all. Like, I think they killed him because he was minding his own business in his own yard. Like, it was just terrible, sad, old man. Like, how do you do that? Terrible. And this happened. Like, and see, this violence. Yes, this is a violent game, but this violence is so ingrained in humans.
There has been a fatality with that violence as well. Just to let you know.
Yeah, and I agree. I can see that happening. And unfortunately, there's just so much violence in humans. And yes, you can look at one ethnicity, but violence is everywhere in humans. We're violent as a species on this planet. We are very violent. Like every invention we came up with was so we could blow something else up better, so we could kill something better.
I do want to let you guys know that I believe at the end of the show, am I correct? We will have a call-in with Skype.
Oh, if they want to call in now and add to this, by all means.
Yeah. You guys can call in. The Skype number is great. I didn't add it. What is the Skype number? Let me open up Skype real quick.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah, it was there, but now it's gone all of a sudden. That's odd.
I think even before these people's upbringing, now that I'm thinking about it, this violence could be even more than that.
Yeah.
It's such a complicated thing to look at,
Oh, it is. There's a lot of factors at play,
So it's your upbringing, huge factor.
Yeah.
But what else is there to it too? And I think the reason me and you are having a hard time thinking about this is because, well, me and you aren't like that. you know, you really have to be one of them to really truly understand it.
Money.
Money could play a role.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when they seen this pregnant woman, chances are, if you're pregnant, you're probably doing not that bad.
No.
She could have been dressed. Was she dressed well?
No, she was dressed fine.
Dressed fine. So
Yeah,
dressed in
and
decent clothes.
she wasn't fighting back or nothing.
Yeah,
She wasn't
yeah.
trying to,
So
you know, beat
maybe
him
to
up
these people, maybe they looked at her and go, they probably have money.
Yeah.
They look good. They're
Yeah.
you know, they're not, you know, poor looking. You know, the man was the man, you know, dressed decently as well.
Yeah, he was dressed pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe to them, like, if you do look at the money aspect, maybe they see money.
Oh, let me just let you guys know the app Erwin was on, it crashed, so he's going to try to join later on. Just want to let you guys know that. And I believe this incident happened in the Philadelphia area, if I'm not correct.
Well, that's interesting too, because that blind man was also in Philadelphia.
Yep, yep. Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
And but no, I think, you know, money could.
Oh, wait. Okay, an elderly man was also attacked when he was mowing his lawn outside of his home. Was he mowing his lawn? Is that the guy you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the guy I was talking about. The elderly man was here in Edmonton, but
okay, yeah.
Different story downtown. But
okay, yeah.
Still, even that way you just said
like,
they're attacked.
I don't want to be the one to say it, but it's also going to be, you know, a race issue. You know, they see a white guy or they see a black guy.
Oh, sure.
You know,
is it a race issue? Yes.
Back and forth, yeah.
I think it could be a race issue. It could be a money issue. Because look at the way wealth is distributed in any country. It's not evenly distributed. Yes, you could say evenly distributed. It could be just as terrible as not. But that could also be part of why this happens, too. Because you have underprivileged and very, very privileged. And then, of course, in the middle.
Okay, Erwin is having technical difficulties. He says, sorry, guys. My computer has no webcam. I just want to let you guys know that he might not be able to join back. So, yeah.
Well, good luck, Erwin.
That's why he's been trying to do it with his iPad or his iPhone.
Yeah, but Jason, like, do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Like, is it making good sense, or
No, you're not rambling on. You're not, you know, doing anything like that. You're making complete sense to me. I understand where you're going with that.
Yeah,
It's just like you said, there is a lot of factors at play, but which factors are in effect with this incident? You know, which factors in effect?
I totally agree with your money aspect thing for sure. Yeah. Money probably played a huge role, especially if they were dressed well.
Yeah.
You know, chances are they could have seen money. There could be other factors involved too, like racism.
Absolutely, yeah, of course.
There could be even more involved too, like these
history.
Yeah,
you know,
if these people get a thrill out of it, they want to do it more and more, obviously. And you know, if they see someone, like, first of all, like, why you'd beat on a pregnant woman? Well, that's just screwed. Oh, that's just screwed. Like, you know, it's just like, why? You know, like that. Like, you know, the pregnant woman that's, you know, like, did the woman and the baby make it, or?
Oh yeah. You can watch. Well, you can watch the video on YouTube. I sent you.
No, I was gonna say, like, if the, you know, like, the baby didn't make it or something. Like,
no.
Someone, but even then,
most of the attack was at the guy because he was protecting her.
Well,
she got hit a couple times. Good.
Oh, I'm gonna mention this anyways.
Okay.
But if something even worse happened, let's say the baby didn't make it, or the woman didn't make it, or both.
Oh yeah.
Then, first of all, you just ended somebody's life, and actually you ended two lives. You ended two lives because you ended a life before it could even start.
Yeah, I would.
You're playing with extreme fire with this one.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you know what? First of all, like, you know, honestly, walking around wanting to beat someone, wanting to knock someone out. You know what? I wonder. I just got a really interesting thought.
Yeah, what's that?
Video games.
Video games? Video games be the cause of this? Well,
think about Grand Theft Auto for a minute.
Oh yeah, you can run around.
Walk down the street.
Yeah.
You can drive your car down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And run over everyone.
That's true.
There's so much you can do.
Well, then that goes back to saying that if all this stuff comes from a unprivileged home or something like that, it'd be kind of hard for them to, you know, afford a video game. You know what I'm saying?
For them it might be.
Yeah.
But something I didn't mention yet, it may not also. It could be even. It might even be outside of the poor neighborhoods too.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Yeah.
Could, yeah. It could. You know, if they do have access to the video game.
Incentive be? Why would they want to do that if they're okay and got money and, you know, aren't poor and run down?
I don't know though. That's the question. Like, could video games
be racism, or what would
it could be? Like, you know, in other cases too. I remember one person, a young kid in this case, but it could have a very similar effect on older people too. Is this one kid who was playing Grand Theft Auto, He was in his grandmother's house or something.
Yeah.
What do you think happened next after he stopped playing the game?
He either went out and tried to kill somebody or went out and tried to drive somewhere.
No, he grabbed a gun and shot his grandmother.
Holy shit.
You see?
Was he having family problems?
I don't know the story entirely, but that is what happened. Obviously, the gun wasn't put away, but
Yeah.
you know, obviously the gun's in the house. The kid should know how to use it. Should know that don't shoot.
Don't shoot.
People
Yeah.
like that,
It's
like
gonna kill
do not
somebody.
shoot grandmother. Don't shoot grandma.
Especially with a shotgun.
So could video games have the same effect in teenagers? Could.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
your brain's still developing in those years.
In the teen years,
So
yeah.
you can still make pretty screwed up decisions.
Yeah.
And could video games have an impact? Yeah, sure it is. Sure it could. It's like violent movies could, and
But
violent
we
anything
can't
could.
always blame it on he just made a bad decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't. Because at some point the bad decision is inexcusable.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Once you kill a human being, it's unexcusable.
Unexcusable for any age.
Unless it was in some form of self-defense.
Self-defense. There you go. Very good. Very good.
But the video games, it may not have encouraged them to do it, but it could have desensitized them to the problem itself.
Yeah, like, oh, it's not a big deal.
You play the video game, you kill like hundreds of people, but it's not a big deal because it didn't happen.
Yeah, and it's fine.
And then you watch movies, and you see people get blown in the guts, get blown away.
Yeah.
And all of this media, and you watch even the news media, and you see like no one cares about the Middle East anymore because every day you see car bombing, this and that.
Oh, absolutely, very good point.
People get desensitized to that. People get desensitized to people being killed. Like even these war video games.
Yeah.
I bet every single these ones that try to reenact World War II. Like I know not very many veterans from World War II around anymore, but I bet every single one of them would be absolutely sickened to see anything like that. I bet every single one of. I bet you it would piss every single one of them off.
That's why most of the older generations, the grandmothers and grandpas, are kind of against the video games.
Especially the veterans. If they've been in this shit in the real world, if they've been in real wars, they are going to hate it for good reason. Because they lived it.
Absolutely.
They probably seen their friends getting blown apart, watching their legs blowing off in real life. That's why they'd be against it. And now we're making a mockery out of it with video games.
That's a good point. Very good point there.
And you look at Grand Theft Auto, and even I'm sure any veteran too would be sickened by that because even law enforcement, former or current, they look at that and go, "This is what I try to stop every day. This is inexcusable if this actually happened."
Mm-hmm.
And I think video games, money.
Any comments? Let's take a look at the comments.
Yeah, let's take a look. The video games, money, I think and racism, they all play a part. And like I said, the war video games, they desensitize you to war, so no one cares about war anymore either. I know this is going into a topic about war now, but come on, you should look at the people that actually lived this stuff. The veterans, stuff like that, and now everybody thinks they can be a military guy. They think they can be in the army because they played a video game.
Yeah.
Okay, good job.
Like the flight simulators too.
Yeah.
That's basically a video game right there. You got your little joystick and.
Sure.
In real life, you're not flying a freaking big old 727. In real life, you're just.
I flew a 747 on my computer. Therefore, I should be able to get a license and fly a real 747.
That goes without saying. That doesn't give them the they could go into a 747 and be able to drive it maybe if the plane's going down and they got tons of experience on a flight simulator.
I don't. Well, yeah, like a real flight simulator. Yeah. But if it's just something on your home computer.
No.
With your little what is it? A, S, and D, and W. Okay, I never been in a cockpit of a plane, but I can almost guarantee you that the controls don't look like that.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I'll just sit back. I just gotta press this button.
So I think video games they could play a role there too because if they don't encourage you to do it, but it can on some mentally ill people because they can tend to copy it. But if that doesn't happen, it desensitizes your brain to it in most cases. But your brain can, like other studies have shown, too, even if it does desensitize your brain will still be afraid of that room where you play the video game.
Yeah.
One study showed that if you play violent video games in your bedroom, they say you probably have a harder time sleeping.
Maybe that's what
your brain doesn't want to fall asleep. Your brain,
That's what all the
your
stuff.
brain sees it as an area of danger. It should always be on alert.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't play no war games and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and even having TVs in your room too. I know it's
Yeah.
really getting off topic now, unfortunately, but
No problem.
I think it's fine in this case.
It's good conversation. Good
Yeah,
conversation.
and
You know,
another
good,
case too, if you have a TV in your bedroom, your brain then sees it as an area of entertainment and also doesn't want to fall asleep.
So let's go ahead and ask the viewers if they have a TV in their room, if they have a hard time sleeping.
Yeah.
Just let us know. Give us feedback on what.
Or call in if you want. The number is.
I don't have it yet. That was so not planned. Okay, the number is 213-814-3151. Dial 1 before the area code. It is 213-814-3151. And that is on Skype. The Skype username is Future Tech Ideas. I got to change that, by the way.
Yeah. I wonder. But I think all of that is a big role.
Okay, that's not it. That's.
Yeah, like in thinking about it, I firmly believe yes, video games, money, all that has something to do with it. What do you think, Jason? Anything else you personally think could be involved?
Personally, no. I mean, we covered every aspect of it. I believe, in my own opinion, we covered the money, we covered the race, we covered, the poverty or the poor neighborhoods. We covered the parenting. It could be the parents' fault. History as well. Like you said. But yeah, we covered everything. Personally,
well, here's something that, obviously, history-wise, I think. Maybe these people still are pissed off with something that happened 200 years ago, or they could be pissed off with reoccurring racism, because racism isn't gone yet in today's society. It's still here, and it plays a huge role in today's world, even if it's a little more hidden than it used to be. Obviously we don't have segregation everywhere, but we still do have segregation, intentional or not. But here's my question to you, Jason.
Yeah.
How should these people be treated? Because I mentioned earlier that we're not treating them; we're just pushing them out of everywhere that they are. And I think sending them to jail would be.
Treated as human beings.
Well, no. I'm saying for the people that are doing this. Okay.
Do you think they should be arrested, or what's the question?
Well, here's the problem with arresting them: you put them in jail.
Yeah.
And you put them with a bunch of other criminals that just make them worse anyways.
Yeah.
So why bother? We're not teaching them anything except to become hardened criminals.
Yeah.
Good job, system.
Yeah, but we can't let them go either without being punished.
We can't. But I think what needs to happen
is... What's your solution to that?
There needs to be a better way to reform these people. Putting them in a building full of other criminals that are going to train them to do different things, new things, and beat shit out of people.
I believe what could would help this out is better job support, better at-home support, better education support as well. A lot of people go into prisons. I'm not sure about the statistics, but a lot of people that go into prisons are uneducated. That's my opinion on that. I don't know the statistics on that, but I believe most of them that go into prison are uneducated.
Yeah. It's you have the uneducated actual criminals, and then you have the other big chunk that are actually innocent.
Yeah. No.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, actually, I think education is probably key. Education is key to racism.
Oh yeah.
Education is key to making money.
Yeah.
So that solves two of your problems there.
But then that gets into the bigger crimes, It goes into the bigger crimes once they have all that money and knowledge about banking.
Yes. But if they can get legitimate jobs and make them legitimate money.
Yeah.
In a good, efficient way, they're not going to need to do those crimes.
No, that's true. Very true. Very true.
It removes that need.
Yep.
There's no longer they can finally go living a good life. They may have a family at that point. I have a family. Blah blah blah. Do I really want to go back out on the streets and do what I was doing?
No.
You see what I'm saying? So they're probably not going to want to do that at that point. So education probably solves both those problems to begin with.
Yeah.
And then in terms of video games, well, we need maybe. People might really hate me for saying this, but maybe violent video games really aren't doing any.
1 second. I think we got some alarming news.
Oh, what's going on?
I gotta check out what's going on because there's some alarming news. Could you but yeah, I tell you what you're saying. Hear what you're saying with that. I'm sorry, I just got so alarmed what I just got. Let's take a look at what.
Well, I'm gonna finish this off with one more thing.
Okay, yeah. One more thing, Cole.
What needs to happen is, with video games, maybe they shouldn't be as violent as they are.
Oh, totally, absolutely. I agree on that. I agree on that.
Maybe we've gotten too violent.
We need to be taught.
Yeah, we've pushed it too far, I think, with video games.
I'm getting a comment from my sister.
Oh.
Yeah, she kind of worried me. I don't know. Okay, that was her calling. If you heard my ringtone earlier, that was her calling. She says, there's a new addition to it. They are now tasing random white men and women. So to me, it is racism. It's inner city black kids who are doing this, that are doing the fighting. This is on Google Plus, on my Google Plus.
Yeah, I can see it in the comments here.
Yeah.
On YouTube, because since it's all integrated with Google Plus now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I totally forgot about that. What do you think on that?
Well,
and thank you if you're watching, Stacy. Thank you. That's my sister, guys.
Are they tasing?
Shout out to her husband, Jeremy.
Well, when she says tasing, is she referring to like the police tasing people, or?
Oh no! I think she's referring to people going out Okay, she's calling in. Let's get her. Yeah. What's up? I'm doing a live show. Yeah. What's up? I'm doing a live show.
Oh shit! I didn't know what's still going on because it won't let me watch the whole live.
Yeah, it's still going on. I gotta go. Okay. Okay.
Okay, good calling.
Yeah, good calling. She didn't know we were live. Sorry about that, guys.
That's fair enough. Fine.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I was saying though is, when it comes to it's the inner city black kids, I think it goes back to what I said earlier. Maybe she didn't see this part or not, but no, it's probably could they be part of it? Yes, but when you look at the inner city, it's not all black kids. The problem I think is not in one ethnicity, but all of them.
No. Could you say this, that there's what would you say with the ethnicity rate with poverty, people that are struggling?
Well, like I was saying earlier, there is a lot of African Americans that do struggle.
So would you say that's why there's a lot more African Americans doing this type of activity?
It could be, but then it's an absolute failure of the system.
There you go. That's what we need to deal with. Is that right there, the system?
And that goes back to your point in education. Yes, education is key to just about every single problem that we have. Even video games, and then video games, reducing the violence. Maybe it's time that we say, you know what, enough is enough. A lot of people probably will hate me for doing that, but maybe we'd be saving ourselves a hell of a lot of trouble in the future. But yeah, it's a failure of the system for sure. If they can't, like the system, like you're in a developed country is supposed to help all of its citizens, but then you still have these underprivileged people who are living like they're in a third world nation. Failure of the system right there.
Call for president. That's all. I said it.
Here's the problem.
He's going to fix everything.
Unfortunately, though, I can't be your president because I'm Canadian.
I know. Get your butt down here.
But
let's not tell him that. Don't tell him that. He's not Canadian.
But
he wears a boot all the time, but he's not Canadian.
Yeah. What's this about? I mean, what's this about?
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, failure of the system for sure.
Yeah.
But problem is though, fixing this system is going to cost a hell of a lot of money.
Oh, and we don't have it.
Like funding this education, funding these people, coming up with a plan to fix these broken neighborhoods.
The thing is they don't want to fix the broken. They want to make the okay better. They want to make whatever is okay better.
That's why there is these rough inner city areas.
Yeah.
Is what do you do with these rough areas? You just push them away. You forget about these neighborhoods and nobody knows about them.
Yeah.
You're like, what neighborhood are you talking about? That don't exist.
Yeah.
And really, that does happen. People forget about these
areas. That's why most neighborhoods now are called the projects. They don't go by street names. They don't go by neighborhood names. They go by the projects or something like that,
Yeah, in bigger cities.
The hood. The
hood, yeah.
We're going to the hood, boys.
Yeah.
Get my gat. Going to the hood.
That in itself is probably just a failure of a big city.
Yeah.
Because if our cities weren't that big, we wouldn't be forgetting about these neighborhoods.
No.
We wouldn't be forgetting about our own citizens.
No.
We could probably have a better quality of life within our cities if they weren't as big.
So on this note, would you say that more countries are more susceptible to this type of activity?
Could be, because
like the bigger populated countries are more susceptible.
Well, sure, because in big populations, they have big population centers.
Yeah.
You look at the U.S., and you'll
Capital, Texas,
have
Dallas,
very
all that.
large populations
Oh, yeah.
concentrated within cities. Like, yeah,
Yep.
sure, you got people that live in the middle of nowhere, you might say, but concentration-wise, they're going to be living in urban areas, and these urban areas are absolutely huge.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a failure of a developed country.
Well,
The cities have
are you
gotten
saying
too
the
big.
United States is not developed?
No, it is. It's very developed. It's a developed country, but
Just the
maybe
government and the system.
what I'm
more
saying
like,
here is our cities are getting too big.
Yeah.
We
I
can't
agree with that. I
deliver.
agree with that.
We can't deliver a even quality, like an even quality of life throughout the city. It's just like fixing infrastructure. You fix some infrastructure and forget about the rest.
Yeah, that's true.
And now, if you're living in a smaller town, it's easier to care for a smaller town.
So when do we make the change? Who's going to make the change? When do we do it? How can we do it?
Well, that's the problem. How do you move away from something we've built? We spent billions over the years on building these big, huge cities. We can't just abandon them now.
I want to quickly mention something. The ideas that I spit out sometimes may be totally crazy because you guys never accept them as being possible.
No, you're entitled to your own opinion. Fire away.
A lot of people tell me, "Oh, that can't be done. We need the government. We need, all this stuff that we really don't need."
And that's why it doesn't. That's why it doesn't get
You've
done.
been so used to it. You've been so used to it of this happening. You can't get rid of it. You don't want to get rid of it because you're so used to it and so okay with it. You think it's the greatest thing ever, but in reality, it's the baddest.
Well, yeah, and you just reminded me something. I'd probably give you a really good example to help your argument there. And
finally,
you're right. You're right. People don't accept it because, well, they're just not listening to you. Really, that's probably what happens. And yes, they pay too? Are they too dependent on the system? Sure.
Yeah.
But look at Nazi Germany for a minute.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Think about the people. Like, yes, some people didn't like Hitler, but a lot of people really believed Hitler was a good man.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, today we all know he wasn't.
No. Well, the first time I heard of Hitler, I knew right then.
Yeah,
right?
there's no argument about it. Bad person.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, even close to him, really believed he was a good man up until the end.
Yeah.
And because they were within it. And I think when you're within it, you don't see the bad anymore.
Exactly. That's true. And I'm not within it. I'm not within it, like you said. I'm not within it.
Yeah.
You're probably not within it. Well, obviously you're up there in Canadian land. So.
Yeah, like see you. Obviously you're not currently living in a big, huge urban center anymore.
No.
And I bet the life's probably a lot different and maybe a little better.
But hey, that goes without saying. When I lived in Florida, in a well-populated area, I still wasn't within it. I still had these crazy ideas that everyone rejected and thought would never happen.
Yeah, but
I'm up here now meeting people that are okay with my ideas and accept them. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea."
Yeah, and from what I was saying here, I think our cities are too big.
Yeah, very true.
And
and this could go into the conspiracy realm.
It could. Like,
the government knows the cities are getting too big, so they're implementing chemtrails, they're implementing all these types of things that'll kill us.
Well, you look at just about any, even this city I'm in now, it covers almost 700 square kilometers, and let's look, like, sure, it's very spread out cities.
You got some prairies.
It's a wonderful example for urban sprawl.
Yeah.
But take a look at our infrastructure. We can't afford to fix it.
I
wonder how that happened. We got how many kilometers of roads that we can't actually fix? We got sewer systems that don't work, but we can't fix it.
Roads that are completely terrible.
Yeah, no. Of course, this city doesn't want to clear our roads either.
Yeah.
And
we don't know how to do that.
And of course, our previous mayor, one could argue that he didn't do very well for our city either. He wanted to ban knives. He really did. He thought it was a wonderful idea.
Wow.
And cities have gotten too big. Like, when you can't fix your own infrastructure, it's too big. Like,
what would be the remedy for that?
Well, there's two remedies to
spread out more or kill everybody off.
Well, no, not either. Like, I think we should just need smaller urban centers. But the problem is, we can't get rid of these urban centers. Like, it would bankrupt the country to tear these things down. You just abandon them. And that makes no sense either.
So to get rid of urban centers would mean to spread out more because the people living there would have to
sure. Like, even the U.S., 311 million people, there's still a lot of empty space.
Canada, absolutely.
In Canada, it's even worse that way.
Yeah.
Like, we got 38 million people, And well, there's not very many people in a lot of areas. There's a lot of areas that are just there. It's just land. No one's there. You know, there's maybe
That's
2
where I'm
farms
going
and
when
stuff
the
like that
world
there.
ends.
So you got that too. Like we got
the
the room to spread out, but no one wants to. And then here in a province like Alberta, you know, maybe like these urban centers don't get equal funding either, because look, we have an absolutely rich government because of all the oil, but the cities do not see any of that money. And then we wonder why we can't fix anything here.
Well, like you said, what are we gonna do? You know, we can't change it. You know, it's
yeah,
gonna be going on
unless
for a long
unless
time.
you can drive more money to these cities.
And we don't have that. We don't have that.
Yeah, like
in order to get all the debt out of America and all other countries, is to combine all of our resources.
Yeah.
And all the debt would be gone. Like combine every country together in one resource. Yeah, I'm talking about one world government. What the hell? You know, we'll throw it out there.
No, I see what you're saying.
And also get rid of a lot of negative things. Get rid of, you know, a lot of poverty because we have more resources. We could be at work as one. You know, one you know, hive mind, if you will.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Well, I'm not, you know, saying, oh, you know, let's do one world government and let's combine the dollar and, you know, one euro or whatever it is.
A world government done right could be good, but it also could work out
it
good.
Could be terrible. Yeah.
But it also has a huge opportunity for tyranny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's Cole's word of the day, tyranny.
And you know,
write tyranny in the comments.
Like guys. locally here in Alberta, yes, our government has the money to fix our cities. We could have our roads paved in gold if we wanted to.
It's gonna go back that way sometime. You know, when the dollar collapses and you know the paper money that we're told is worth.
But the problem is, you know, the cities don't see as much money as they probably should, and then that's why no one can fix it. You know, unless the money can be it can be equivalent to the amount that a city grows, then maybe it's sustainable. But once you realize that it's not sustainable anymore, you're done. Look at Detroit. Obviously, that wasn't very sustainable.
Oh no, that's why the freaking people up there are moving down south.
When a city has to file for bankruptcy. That's also another example of a failed system. When a city has to say, we have no money anymore. We're done.
What are you gonna?
And they had to turn off the streetlights and all. Like, holy. That's it.
Happened? Has that happened here in America recently, or like, you know, in the past 40 years? I wonder.
Well, other than Detroit, there's a few other cities that kind of filed for bankruptcy too, and.
I bet the people ran out of there like it was.
It's scary when that happens.
Of course.
And you gotta wonder, like, if Detroit wasn't able to handle that, if Detroit wasn't able to sustain itself, there's a lot of other cities in the U.S. that are probably about that size.
Yeah.
Can they sustain themselves either? You know, like even the city I'm in now. Like, yes, the city claims that we have room for $4 billion in debt. We have $2 billion right now in debt.
Jesus.
There is like how's that work? Oh, like okay,
So what would you say on one world government? What would you say on that?
If done right, it could work out good. If it was like, if you're saying, because technically, should humans be able to travel freely throughout the entire world? Yeah, probably. And if it was one world government in one country, probably. You can turn countries into provinces or states, whatever you want to call them.
There you go. Implementing the Canada stuff.
And provinces. You know, resource-wise, there wouldn't be fights for resources anymore.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have to fight for it anymore. Energy, there wouldn't be a fight for energy. Because once again, we'd have the opportunity to go anywhere for it. You're not locked into one little space. And here in Canada, we have a tremendous amount of fresh water, and enough actually that the U.S. wanted to buy our water and divert our rivers.
No wonder why. No wonder why.
Of course, our country refused to do that.
They're realizing the water is going to be where it's all at, all the money and stuff.
Yeah, our country said no. But if you look at it, if it was all one country, then there wouldn't be the water problem anymore. Actually, but then you could say that it could also destroy the world too at the same time, because then there's no restrictions. You can get as much as you want.
You could go where. Well, what do we mean by get as much as you want? Get as much as you want?
Because there's less restrictions for a lot of things. You could do a hell of a lot more damage anywhere you want.
Because there's still a continent. There's still a continent divides and stuff. You're not traveling so far to go to other countries.
But like with oil, we can build pipelines. We can put them on ships. We can put them on tankers. And could it make our world even more interconnected? Yes, but it has all the potential to cause a lot of damage at the same time.
Chaos,
Like look at the Colorado River, whatever, isn't isn't that thing getting lower and lower and lower?
Oh yeah, that is.
Like, gee, I wonder why. So wouldn't the same thing happen if you started pulling water out of rivers and lakes here?
Yep.
Sure, it might take a long time, but if because you're interrupting the natural cycle. Like the world was never meant for this many people in the way we're doing it, and it's just.
What are you doing?
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
It is.
You got real close to it. You're like looking down.
No,
like,
I'm just thinking. It's just such a scary thing, really.
Oh yeah.
It's such the world's very complicated. I think.
Well, we make it complicated. It can be
do.
very simple, but
I
we
think,
make it very complicated.
like when I look at animals, dogs and cats and these wild animals, I think like they really have life easy compared to humans. They don't have laws. They don't have restrictions. Look at birds.
No.
They travel freely in between countries all the time when they have to migrate.
And they don't even have to get dressed.
Yeah. Like if you wanted to come to Canada, you have to wait at the border, stuck in traffic, show your passport. Well, the birds above you just fly right on through.
What type of animal coal would be?
So the birds continue flying right on through. So really, humans, we have made life complicated.
Yeah.
We've gotten away from the natural side of things.
That's because we have a complicated mind.
And violence. Like all animals are violent, and I think it's still carried over with us.
That's the nature of life. Yeah,
and to end this topic off, it comes back to where we started. That yes, we've changed all this. It's no longer natural.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why we come up with such weird, messed up games. Maybe that's why violence still plays a huge role in our society. Maybe that's why racism is still there. Like racism, it's there from when you're born. Like a baby, a study found that you show a kid that looks different or you just having discrimination in them. If a kid likes something different than them, the kid hates them.
Wow.
So it's there the moment you're born.
Yeah, that's insane.
Scary, isn't it?
It's scary. Yeah, it is.
Anyways, we're about to move on to the next topic, Jason.
Yep. All right. The next topic, I believe, is the over-prescribing of antibiotics.
Ooh.
So, it is that time of year here in the U.S. I call it my sick season. You will soon begin to see it more and more, people coughing and sneezing and lining up at checkouts and tons of cold medicine in the baskets. So basically what this article goes on to say is the doctors and we are basically using antibiotics at a rapid rate. We're using it too much. It's weakening our immune systems because our immune system is no longer fighting off these infections and viruses. The antibiotics are. So they don't have time to adapt to these new viruses and bugs and stuff and so on. So are we using our antibiotics to a high extent, basically? Are we using it way too much? And is it weakening our immune system? What would you say on that?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't say if it's weakening our immune system or not. Yeah. But I could say this. I know this much. Don't viruses adapt to this stuff anyways? So we may not be weakening our immune systems, but we're getting it to a point where our immune systems can't fight this stuff because our immune systems don't know what it is anymore.
Yeah. Well, soon our immune system.
And because our immune systems don't recognize it, because of these antibiotics, we need the antibiotics at that point.
Because listen. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, you could even get back into conspiracy from there too.
Oh yeah.
Is this stuff good for you? My question is really, is this stuff really good for you? Humans survived millions of years,
exactly.
going through how many viruses and plagues? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Were there people that died? And have these medications done wonders for us? Yes. But is there a point when is it being overprescribed? Maybe, yeah. Like, you get a sore throat, you're already going to the pharmacy to pick up some cold medication, when chances are your immune system could probably fight it off.
Yeah.
But you got a sore throat and you're driving to the nearest pharmacy to pick it up. And then, over time your body gets used to it, and you take it anyways, and, it doesn't work. Ooh, I wonder why.
No, I quickly want to mention, if you guys follow me and know me, you basically know that I was, going through some medical problems, and I'm still going through them. But before I got diagnosed when I was 15 with a disease called ulcerative colitis, I was completely healthy. I was healthy, but I did get colds, and I did get, antibiotics and all that. And basically when I got sick, I started taking these medicines that made me even feel worse. But yet they were helping the disease that I had. So basically, I was trading one sickness or one one thing for another with that. And then after I got put on this medicine called steroids, it was prednisone, and that basically weakened my immune system like completely. It's like, okay, you put me on medicine that's supposed to help me, but yet it's supposed to make me weaker and unable to fight these diseases. So now I got to take antibiotics too.
That's what you're saying.
So,
That's true for a lot of treatments. Like look at chemotherapy for cancer patients.
is it about money? Are they prescribing these things for money? Is because some medicine makes you weaker, some medicine makes you stronger. You got to take both.
Well, it could. Like a lot of these treatments too, even moving away from medication. Like yeah, it could be. Like think about all these big drug companies.
Yeah.
They make good money. Trust me.
Oh, I know
Like,
it.
you know, like obviously, like even here, not all medications covered by insurance and all that. So you sometimes take a look at it and just watch how that quickly adds up to like. Trust me, it'll quickly add up.
Oh, I know.
And then you have like how many millions of people taking this crap every year? And you know, a lot of these treatments do make you sick. Like look at chemotherapy for cancer patients. It pretty much brings you to the brink of death.
Yeah.
Like yes, it kills cancer cells. It
It's
also kills good cells too.
You're basically eating poison. You're basically
pretty well.
having poison.
And is there alternative treatments? Could be. You know, you do have natural alternatives too. Could they work? I don't know. You know, because I think people are weary of it being a gimmick too, and that's why people just go for the big over-the-counter medication. But does money play a big role? Sure, it does. Look at healthcare in the U.S. Money plays a big role there too.
But I also was going towards the story of my sickness there. When I was on those antibiotics and all that, you know, I was okay. But when I got off of them, I could no longer fight all those colds and viruses and stuff, and so I started getting sick again. But before I started taking all these medicines, I was okay. My body could fight off these colds, you know. But after I took the medicine, I wasn't able to fight them off.
How long were you on this stuff for?
I was on steroids for 3 years, and I was on medicine probably 8 years. I was on like 9,000 over 9,000 milligrams a day of medicine.
In the like antibiotics type thing, or
what? Oh, no, not the antibiotics. On the antibiotics, I was probably on a total of 1 year.
1 year. Well, 1 year is quite a fair amount of time. Let's take a look at you. Like you know, obviously you went through hell, obviously.
Yeah.
And did it help in the end? It must have, because you're still here.
Yeah. No. The medicine didn't help. The surgery is what helped.
Yeah, obviously. But if your body couldn't fight afterwards, isn't it kind of a little counterproductive?
Exactly. That's what I noticed. I was like, why am I getting sick when before I was barely getting sick?
Obviously,
you know?
like maybe your immune system didn't get used to it. Maybe what happened is your immune system just kind of sat back because the antibiotics.
Keep them coming.
We're taking care of the problem, and it's an ongoing cycle for one entire year. You probably came in contact with how many colds and flus and diseases, blah blah blah.
And then the antibiotics took care of it.
The antibiotics continued to take care of it for an entire year, and then all of a sudden, like, was it just immediately cut off, or were you kind of like weaned off it?
No, I was weaned off of it. Yeah.
So even then, though, maybe dat process didn't work. Maybe
your body. The only reason why I was weaned off of the antibiotics is because I was weaned off of the steroids. If I would have if I would have got off the steroids totally at one time, I could have died.
It would have put you in shock.
Because my heart, it's adrenaline. It's
heavy medications like that, it'll put you right onto it.
It would have shut off my adrenal gland because it no longer produces adrenaline.
So like maybe your immune system too was compensating for all this new stuff too, not producing certain things like white blood cells, and are producing lower amounts of them, and producing lower amounts of other cells. Could have. I'm not an expert, but it could have. Is it helping?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like obviously, since the surgery was obviously kept you going apparently, right?
Well, it didn't cure me. I still got the disease, but it just made it better to where I'm not sick all the time.
Yeah. So what was the reason for the antibiotics?
The reason was because I was on steroids, which lowered my immune system.
Oh, I see. And the steroids, did they tell you why you needed those?
Yeah, that was for anti-inflammation, basically.
Yeah, see, I think that's a hard one. Like, it is a little counterproductive if you are getting sick after, right? I'm not a doctor, obviously.
Why I question it. Why was I getting all these medicines that would make me, sick again? even if after the surgery, you know, because of my immune system's weakened and it's not able to fight off these new diseases or whatever, new viruses.
You know, that puts you at a bigger risk too if your
Yeah,
body can't fight it.
I was wondering if are they doing it because of the money, or they want more money? They feeding these pills because they want the money, or?
I'd have to actually agree with you on that one because the medical business, especially in the States, is huge business.
Oh, you don't even want to know.
It is huge industry, and it makes huge money.
Obviously, and they have huge power.
It plays with people's lives. That's what gives them the power.
Yeah.
And money probably has a huge role to play in there. Unfortunately, it's quite scary.
Very, very, very.
Geez, I almost want to get a doctor on it. You know, talk to a doctor about this.
Yeah,
See, you know,
I would love to have a doctor on.
What a medical expert would think about that.
Hey, my sister's a dental assistant. I'm not sure if that's a proper term for her. Dental assistant.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's usually what I call them. Yeah.
That's usually what I call them. Yeah.
But you know, I agree with you on that one. I think we should move on though. But I do agree with what you're saying.
Well, very good, very good.
Because we've lived with millions of years without antibiotics, without vaccines, which of course they put deadly things in vaccines anyways. But that's another topic to begin with.
Yeah, we'll go ahead.
The question is too.
Next time.
How much? What's in the antibiotic too? What are the side effects of antibiotics?
Oh, vomit, nausea, constipation.
Like obviously in the package, I'm sure there's a nice little paper, but I'm sure it's quite long the list of possible side effects.
There was one type of medicine I was taking that could give me cancer.
And they give this to you.
And I had to be checked for it every month.
Oh.
So it was more higher. It wasn't just like you monitor yourself. It was saying you got to go in and get checked for it. So it was some high stuff, some very powerful stuff.
That's scary. But you know what? The interesting thing is too. Polio vaccines back in the day gave people cancer too. There was a virus that gave people cancer.
Yeah.
And you know that wouldn't be the first type of medication that's giving people cancer. Is it scary? Yeah.
Absolutely.
That though, if it gives you cancer, isn't this stuff supposed to be tested first? If it's giving people cancer, should you be giving this to people?
No, absolutely not, man.
That's called a really bad side effect, and we should really just throw this medication away. Never ever.
And it was a deadly type of cancer too. I mean, it was a
that is wow. That's Geez, I
was biting my nails when I was on that medicine.
I'd have a hard time taking it.
Yeah, I did, but hey, I was at a bad point, like you said. And
was there any other options, or was that like just it? Like this?
Well, the last option was surgery. Try the medicine, all types of medicine out there. If that does not work, and I go to surgery. And surgery is what surgery. The type of surgery I had changed my body appearance and changed my life. Wow. So it was a big decision to make.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
If you guys don't know what ostomy is, colostomy, search it up on YouTube or on Google. Just search it up and you'll know what it is. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It's because a lot of doctors look for the disease that I have. They look for it in older people. It's not, you're not going to get colon cancer when you're a really young guy. Eventually on, and then you got to be screened for it. You got to have your prostate examined, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just a weird, one of them weird things. I was born with it,
That is scary though. How medication would give you cancer. I didn't know that. Honestly, I've been over the past few months. I've been getting an amazing education from you on this stuff.
Oh man, I love it. Yeah. I love it. That's one of my nurses told me I should go speak at like a big conference or whatever about it because how positive I am about it. I was like,
yeah.
But now I'm doing YouTube. That's what actually got me into doing YouTube and stuff.
Well, yeah.
Gave me the confidence to do it. Maybe tell my story and see other people.
Yeah, good on you. But one last question we gotta look at our next topic here.
Yeah.
I'm still just kind of reeling from the whole part of medication that gives you cancer.
Do you don't want to throw up every day, or do you want to get cancer?
Yeah.
Okay. What type of option is that?
Exactly.
Cancer or get rid of my current.
Bad or worse, it's like Russian roulette, really.
Yeah. Well, it's a small amount. Small amount of people got the cancer when they tested it out.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder, like.
Yeah.
What if
will you be that person exactly? That's what was going through my mind when I was debating on taking them.
Oh, it would be just nerve-wracking, sure. Yeah. But our last topic is how big is too big for a smartphone? Obviously, I was at Best Buy a few days ago looking at this smartphone, right? And it was like an absolute tablet. Like, it was huge. I was like,
That's what
this is a phone?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. And I was looking at it like, how do I, I don't carry on purses and stuff and put my phone like this. These big phones are meant for women, first off. Because for any guy, like, I put my phone in my jeans, right? And I couldn't get this thing in there. Like Jason, try shoving an iPad in your pocket.
I've tried, and that's what I know in the article.
Don't work.
By the way, the article for this topic will be in the description below, like all the other articles. If you want to read that, I know all the stuff that we're talking about in here. About the pant size, how are you going to get it in and out of your pockets? I say, maybe it was made for Shaq. He's got the freaking, maybe a phone would look like a normal phone. The size of a 6-inch phone or whatever, 6.5 or whatever it was.
But I think the big phones are marketed for women.
Yeah, but also, would you see a female holding up a freaking big old phone? That would look so weird.
Actually, I've seen it.
Hey, how you doing?
I have really seen that big, huge 6-inch phones up on their ears, and the reason women can get away with it is because they carry around a purse. That's why. That's why they can get away with it. It makes more sense to market it towards them. A guy, you'd market a smaller phone towards them because most people put their phones in their pockets.
Do you think that's why Apple hasn't gone to the route of a phablet?
Maybe.
Because they haven't gone there yet. A lot of other companies are, but they haven't gone there.
It could be. They could also be just kind of testing the waters and see where it's going too. Because that is the one problem with a big phone. You can't carry it around anymore.
Yeah, and it's a small market. You can't market out to everyone.
Even if you have one of those little clip-on cases for put on your belt or whatever.
Yeah.
Jason, don't you think it'd be a little odd to have like a little iPad strapped to your belt?
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of those. Yeah, exactly. Like one of those. Like you make even like a 7-inch iPad. Like, you look at that thing just for a comparison. Imagine putting that on your side. So even there, it's awkward. I couldn't
imagine holding it up to my phone though. I mean, or holding it up to my head. It looks so awkward.
Oh, it would, yeah. See?
Yeah, there you go. There's a demonstration, guys.
There you go.
Hey, Cole, how you doing? You like my small phone?
Yeah, it's so much better. Like, this thing is so heavy.
Yeah, is that wearing on your arm there? Is it getting heavy there?
but you see, it's awkward to carry around.
Yeah.
You can't put it in your pocket. You can't, put it on your side. You can't anything with it. And I think that's why it's marketed for women. They have purses. So advantage to them because it does. Big phones have the advantage of better web browsing, better games, better experience. Yes, but at the cost that you can't actually carry it around. That's my opinion. Now, what do you think, Jason?
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you. Like I said, I wouldn't never. The size of the phone that I'd stop at would be like 5.7.
I'd say 5.
5.7, yeah, 5.
5 even, yeah.
And the reason why I stop at that is because I like the Galaxy 3.
Yes, you know what? Yeah, okay, 5.7. I agree with you on that one, Jason.
5.7. I like the Galaxy 3.
I'll agree with you on that one. Yeah.
You sure?
I do actually. That's good. That's a good point because the Galaxy S.
Have you took a look at the Galaxy?
Too.
Yeah, you took a look at it.
Yeah, the whole Galaxy series is beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I don't like the Mega. The Mega's too big. That's like.
That's what I seen in the store. That thing.
Yeah, the Mega's like insane.
That is what I remember now. That's what it said on the little price
tag. But the thing is, are they? Remember that article you wrote for News in General about the making crappy products and then I think that's what it was, making crappy products. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, but the Galaxy Mega, it's a bigger phone. You'd think it would have better hardware because it's such, there's more space for it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? The Galaxy Mega has a 720p screen resolution and an 8-megapixel camera.
Yeah. Basically,
now,
run of the mill.
Yeah, this is 1080p and has an 8-megapixel camera as well.
And it's smaller.
Yeah, and it's small. Yeah.
But here you bringing up planned obsolescence. You can be very clumsy with a big phone, and it's easier to drop a big phone.
That's where
it's easier to break your big phone.
Getting it in and out of your pocket, exactly.
Yeah, and as soon as you break that big phone, you're going to buy a new phone. And then that's like,
and are you going to go for the Mega?
over and over and over again, and then it comes in to continue raking in more money.
Yeah.
Terrible. It works. Actually, you bring up a very good point with bringing up planned obsolescence.
Yeah.
You're very right on that, actually.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I think it was the because I haven't slept in like forever. You guys know that. I think it was the medication I'm taking. Well, not medicine, but the minerals and vitamins I take.
Yeah.
You remember them? You remember these, don't you?
Oh, you're still taking those. You're still taking those.
No, I stopped.
Oh.
I just started back up. I stopped for like, ever since FTI was back, going
Mhm.
on. I stopped then and kind of got back into it now since I'm losing sleep all the time and not sleeping. So
Well,
I think
I think it's a good idea. You try it ever, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
even those natural remedies. You know,
yeah. Yeah,
if
it's
these
naturally. Yeah.
if these natural remedies are over 100 years old, 200, 300, like if they've been working that long,
Yeah, it was like oak wood or some type of wood or
yeah,
plant in here. It's
like even like here we got the First Nations, you got the what do you call them down there? The you call them in the States,
yeah.
Native American. You got them.
Alpha Brain,
Mm,
please sponsor us because this really helps me.
there you go.
I'm giving you
But
guys a shout out. It has oat straw in it. That's what I was trying to figure out. Not wood. It
cool.
has oat straw.
But when you, yeah, I think I remember you telling me that. But when
Yeah.
you look at even the indigenous peoples of the world, they have a lot of their own remedies too. No one
Sure.
else pay
Yeah.
attention to them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they do.
They
And,
go out in the woods and like chop
and
down a little
yeah,
branch and rub
and
it
they
on. Yeah.
still
Yeah.
work. You
Yeah.
have to wonder why they still work too. But us people, we're so evolved away from our
We gotta
our
have these
natural.
capsules and
Yeah,
freaking
we
all this
have these
weird.
fancy medications, big
Yeah.
pharmacies, and these
Yeah.
medications that'll probably kill you. You know.
Nothing to laugh about, but
Yeah, and
yeah.
there's even stories of these indigenous peoples having a cure for cancer,
Hmm.
yet no one wants to pay attention to that. But there's stories like that, and maybe it's time. Maybe we should look at these natural things. If they can work, why aren't we using them?
The reason why we're not using them is because there's plenty of them. It's not money wise. You can't make
Yeah,
a lot of money off of
I
it.
was about to say that. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
make money. That's unfortunate, and maybe once again, failure of the system again.
There you go. Yeah.
Our world is
Absolutely.
so business related that some businesses play with people's lives.
Yeah. Yeah, they do, and they're okay with it. They sleep good at night because they got a bank full
Yeah.
of money.
They will gamble on people's lives. Healthcare companies in the
And you know what
States.
I say to them?
There you go.
That's what I say.
Like healthcare companies in the States, they got, they can pretty well do, damn it.
They're basically murderers.
No,
Murderers.
basically, yeah, legally though.
And they're getting
Basically,
away with it. Why?
in the
Why
U.S.,
are you?
it's such a huge industry.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time phrasing this.
Cole's
Alex,
got no Shave November going on, by the way.
I'm getting like an Alex Jones moment going on here, but
Yeah. Don't slam the
yeah,
table. Be careful. Calm
I
down.
think no, I'm in the
Woosah.
calm Alex Jones mode.
Yeah, woosah.
But yeah, the legal murders. That's a very good way to look at it because
Yeah.
they gamble with people's lives in the U.S., especially with the way the medical system works down there. You have people that these healthcare companies find any and every way to get out of actually helping someone. They'll find every way to not actually pay for
And then
anything.
after 2 years of you struggling, they finally accept you.
They'll say, it's an experimental procedure, experimental this, can't help you, too expensive, this, that, oh, you had a pre-existing condition, you had pre-existing this, pre-existing...
Yeah.
And then you wonder why these people die.
That's why,
Very treatable conditions.
Yeah.
But they die because the healthcare company decided that they were going to find a way out of it. Is it wrong? Yeah. Legal murders? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they get away with it. Probably hundreds, maybe even thousands.
For sure. And, you got hospitals, I've seen this in
we can't help you. Go away. We can't help you.
No, it's even worse than that. If you can't pay or your healthcare company decides that you can't pay either, and I'll get into why this isn't fair, they'll throw you in a taxi and dump you in a rough part of town.
Have you ever seen the movie John Q?
No, I haven't. What's it about?
It's basically about what we're talking about. You gotta look it up on Netflix.
I will, yeah.
YouTube or something.
And
basically, it's about this guy. His son has a heart problem or something, and he doesn't have insurance. His business doesn't cover his insurance or something, and he goes to the hospital. His son needs a heart transplant, but they can't do it because there's no money or no insurance.
Yeah.
So what the guy does, the guy holds the whole hospital hostage with a gun and demands a heart transplant for his son.
What happened to him?
In the end, I believe the father was gonna kill himself to give him his heart.
Wow.
To give his son his heart. Yeah.
Wow.
It was powerful movie. You gotta watch it. And all the viewers out there as well.
Was he arrested or anything?
Yes, he did. He got arrested and he went to jail, but not for long. He got out and stuff.
That's not fair because you know what? It's once again another breakdown of the system because.
Well, do you think he should have been arrested or no?
No, I think I'm sure you could say yeah, but ethically.
He didn't shoot anybody. He didn't shoot anybody. Guess what? The whole
Ethically,
time the gun was unloaded. The whole time he held up the
yeah.
hospital.
But
Was
you
unloaded.
look at it from an ethical standpoint.
Yeah.
You have to wonder. You know why this man did that. You know why this happened.
Yeah. It's his damn
Come
son.
on.
I mean, come on.
Like, just give
Exactly.
him the damn treatment.
Yeah. And they had a donor too. They had a donor at the very end.
And you look up here in Canada, and yeah, sure, we get these treatments for free thanks to a different type of healthcare system, and obviously we don't have that happening. But in the States, it's not very fair because you pay these healthcare companies however often, so you get this treatment, and then when you do need it, oh, sorry, we can't help you. No, you had a pre-existing condition, can't help you. Like, how is that fair? You paid for this. Like, you pay for any other service, and you expect it. You pay for healthcare, you don't get it.
Exactly.
And that is just terrible. And then you got these drugs, like you mentioned earlier, that just, how do we even get to this topic, actually?
We got this topic by... Whoa, yeah, how do you talk about big smartphones? We're talking about big smartphones. What the heck? Yeah. Okay, let's do a call-in. Let's call.
Yeah, let's get some call-ins going. Yeah, by the way, Anthony left a comment, or answer it.
Okay, what's he saying?
Vlog Montana is here.
Okay, yeah.
Cole is about that lol. It is his word. So I guess he's talking about the tyranny thing.
Yeah, he's talking about Minecraft as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The Minecraft tyranny, yes.
All right, let's go ahead and get the number out there for the call-in.
Yes, the number...
This time, guys, wait, let me mention. This time I'm going to use my iPhone instead of my Android for the call-in. That way the speaker might be better.
Right on. So the number is 213-854-3151. Is that correct?
Yes, 213-854-3151. If you have Skype, the account is under Future Tech Ideas, all one word. If you see the News in General logo, it looks like a little white, banner or whatever. That's us.
Yeah,
but we'll call in for you.
Yeah. Well, we're waiting though.
Yeah.
I think with that's probably why Canadian, a lot of Americans want to.
Oh, you were about to say Canadian.
No, that's why a lot of Americans would support a Canadian-style healthcare system in the States.
Oh yeah. That's why they go up there. That's why they try to go over the border and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like even though I said earlier in a different stream that sure, it impacts the system because it takes money out of the system, it never gets returned. Yeah. But at the same time, you do have to understand why these people are doing it. It's not like
life or death situation.
Sure, some of them just see the doctor, but other times, they really need treatments because they really can't afford it. Like here, we're quite lucky. Like, sure, we still pay for it, but through taxes, and it's a little more affordable that way.
Yeah.
Because we all kind of pay for one another. And even in Cuba, they do that.
They're doing where?
Cuba. Oh, not Cuba. Sorry, not Cuba. Yeah, Cuba, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Sheba.
Sheba.
I don't know why. I just heard you say. I thought you said Sheba. I'm like, where's Sheba? What is Sheba?
Yeah, they do that in Cuba too, I believe. So it's interesting. Yeah. Even the guys that got in Guantanamo Bay there, all the terrorists, they get better health care than the American people.
I do want to do a quick shout out while we're sitting here waiting to John Prosser and Brian Shuk from FrontPageTech.net. They recently got partnered with Coca-Cola, and I just want to do a shout out on my live stream here, the News and General live stream, and congratulate them with the partnership with Coca-Cola. The big tyrannical, power hungry. I'm just kidding. No.
I have to admit, it is a good drink.
That's yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I need to go get some Coke after the live show.
There you go.
Yeah, go get a glass of that. I don't want to do it now because I'm in the live show, of course.
Oh, you can do it.
I don't have a waiter.
But it's actually, even the history of the company is quite interesting. They've been around for over 100 years. It's very interesting. History of a lot of these companies. You look, because I think, Jason, you can figure out that I do a lot of research into history, and I've looked back at the history of a lot of companies. It's very interesting to see how they're founded. Blah blah blah.
Oh, really?
Like, look at Dr. Pepper. It was medication. Root beer was medication.
What? Was there like some type of root in there or something?
I don't remember why. And
like
a few other things are medication too. I believe cocaine, that was medication.
Oh yeah. The cocaine.
But of course, people as well found other ways to use it. But that's true with every medication.
Yeah.
Should it have been made illegal in the first place? Because it should have just been controlled.
Yeah.
Like people get high off prescription drugs. So
Oh yeah, they get high off of glue.
yeah, they get high off anything. So
Magic markers.
let's
I
ban
mean,
everything. Like
yeah.
maybe you could reduce the crime by legalizing some of the stuff by controlling it. Like
Yeah.
if cocaine was
go.
meant for a medication, like I'd like to know if it was effective or not for whatever it
Yeah.
was meant to be treated.
Listen this. Maybe the good conspiracy theory here is maybe coke or any other type of drug is very effective. In fact, more effective, but it will be less profitable because it's everywhere, or it's easy to grow or maintain or whatever.
Look at marijuana. It has so many medical purposes.
Oh yeah, it's very easy to grow, very easy to maintain,
and so many applications for the medical field, and even look at hemp, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
But you can make clothes out of it.
Yeah, you can. The leaves, yes, you can.
And that was banned, all of it. And you got guys going for jail for it. You got come on. Obviously, that's why a lot of states are legalizing it.
Local news here is think of all the people that are in jail because of just smoking marijuana.
You basically just destroyed their lives because they did something.
And they never would have done any other type of crime.
Honestly, though, if they do legalize this, like you just say, let's say statewide in the U.S. there in certain states, right?
Yeah.
And the person was convicted of an offense and was put in jail and has a criminal record. Every single one of them should be pardoned.
Pardoned. Yeah, that's very good. That's a very good idea there.
Because
it's not going to happen.
No, because first of all, you just destroyed their lives, really. Because now, let's say they want to go to Canada, our border officials are going to go, no, you were convicted for such and such offense. Please go back to the U.S. Which is unfortunate because then you really just restricted them. So unless it was a major crime, in that sense, maybe they should be pardoned.
Sorry, America, I'm heading out to Canada. Or Canadian. I'm heading out to Canadian.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess we're not getting any colons, so might as well end you're off. Or you want to keep going?
No, we'll go ahead and do the live. Dun. Wait for it. Minecraft.
All right.
We're gonna do that? Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can do that in a different live stream if you want.
Yeah, different live stream. Yeah, Minecraft. Yeah.
Okay, so in a few minutes here we're going to be doing a live Minecraft stream. Probably streaming from one of Jason's channels. Which channel are we streaming that on, Jason? So our viewers know.
Should we stream it on News in General? I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with news, right?
No, not necessarily. No.
Yeah. Oh, today's news in Minecraft. Colt Cooper blows up the tower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
We'll stream it on my vlogging channel. If you don't know, that is youtube.com/MrJasrene1, MrJasrene1. Just search for Jason Goyette vlog channel on YouTube.
There you go. And of course, you want to stay up to date with our updates. You can follow @News in General, and of course, you want to keep an eye on Jason. You can follow him as well @Jason Goyette. You definitely want to follow him. He got some good stuff on there.
What's that?
He's got some good stuff on there. And of course, you can follow me, Cole Cooper, at CK270, and of course, Erwin, who isn't with us now. I Erwin underscore. I want to, I'll thank Erwin, even though he isn't here for joining earlier, and Jason, I guess, well, you're co-owner. Anyways, owner. Damn. Oh, let's get this straight before we end this off. I am co-owner. Jason Goyette is owner. I always mess this up for some reason.
And you mentioned you can follow Jason Goyette at CK.
Anyways, let's end her off.
Good on this one.
Anyway, thank you all for watching.
Yes, thank
hopefully
you for
enjoyed the live stream. And for anyone that actually watched the entire thing, leave a comment. Say you watched the entire thing.
Say tyranny. Say tyranny if you watched the whole thing.
Tyranny. Yeah, I'll be floored if you did. But let us know. And thank you all for watching once again. And good night, good morning, good afternoon to wherever you are. And you can join us next week. And you can join us next week on our next live stream, 9 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Thank you all for watching, and see you next week. Okay, welcome back to another live stream for News in General. I'm Cole Cooper, the co-owner of News in General. You can follow me on Twitter at CK270. We also have Erwin with us tonight, and we also have Jason Goyette with us as well. You can follow him on Twitter at Jason Goyette. We had a lot of interesting topics to cover tonight, and a lot of interesting topics tonight to cover. I think a lot of which are going to cover a lot of all of which are going to bring on some very interesting opinions and so on. So let's jump right into it, Jason. So here's the first topic.
All right. First topic is some games can be a knockout. Now that basically refers to the knockout game that's been recently in the media. And basically what it is a bunch of teenagers go around, walking around in public. They find a person, they bet each other to knock this person out, and they will pay them money if they do. So let's go ahead and dive into that. Erwin, what's your thoughts on that? Have you seen this? Have you heard of it over there?
Jason,
yep.
Explain that a little bit more.
Okay, a little bit more.
The premise of the game and why they're doing this, blah, blah, blah.
Why they're doing this? Well, they're doing it for money. That's what they're doing it for. Because obviously they make the bet, they do it to win. And they like doing it. They obviously do it to prove that they're big and strong or whatever, or they can knock somebody out. So
is this just in the United States, or is this like a epidemic all over the world?
Well, so far I've only caught it in the United States. I didn't look if it's in Japan or whatever. It could be. That's why I was going to ask Erwin if he's seen it over there in Holland or if he's heard of it over there.
No, it isn't big here. I've never heard of it before. A game like this. So I've do not have seen any videos on YouTube in this sort of games, so I don't know a lot of it. So
basically, what you
there, blacks being treated like crap. He finally had the guts to say, "Hey, you know what? This isn't right. We're all human." And if he was still around, could things be different? Yeah, his message could have been spread to more people. Today, I bet many other people have no idea who the guy is. Martin Luther King, never heard of him. Sad, but
that is sad.
Because he was such a powerful, very, very important man.
And you think if he was so powerful and important, everybody would know who he is.
You'd think, but 40 years have passed since he died.
There you go. Yeah, so the younger generation isn't being taught, about the past and about who he was and what he did, and
right. And then
the message he was spreading.
Because remember, you have to know history to prevent history.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
You don't know history; it's just going to happen over and over and over again. So, that could be what's happening, except in a reverse way now. Is because if the blacks are doing this, and I'm going to get back to that in a second, then maybe racism is playing a role there, just in the opposite way as it was 100 years ago. But you look on YouTube as well, and you see all these videos, like you mentioned. You've seen a lot of African Americans fighting the whites, and of course, one situation, a pregnant woman and a man, right? Obviously, terrible this happened. But how many times has a white guy done this, and no one has gone unnoticed? It's for sure.
Plenty, but it's gone unnoticed, like you said.
It's gone unnoticed because if people did see it, they didn't find it very interesting. But as soon as you have the opposites in race and ethnicity, as soon as you have that ethnic difference, that's when people get interested. That's when people start uploading the videos. So that's why the video results you get on YouTube could present a little bit of a bias to you, because the people that uploaded them in the first place, they only were interested in that. So it shows a bit of bias, and no one notices it again. It goes back to how people were, programmed by a lot of people to think that people who are black are bad, and thugs and criminals. People were programmed like that. You even see police saying that. Is that right? No, it's a terrible stereotype, because they're not all thugs. They're not all. What happens is they pull a gun or a knife.
Yeah,
it's happened many times.
The reason why is the reason behind asking. This reason is to beat the guy up. You try to distract him, so he.
Well, I think in this case, the guy would have had the shit beat out of him either way.
Yeah.
He wasn't really given much of a chance. It was just kind of to startle him at first, probably. Say, "Hey, can I have a cigarette?" And that's gonna
keep him off guard.
You're gonna think about that for a second, like, huh, what? And then done.
And then bam, And the guy I believe is arrested. They're in jail. All the young kids that were doing this were in jail.
Well, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But could it be a racial thing? Yeah, probably. Depends how you look at it, though.
It depends. Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of racism that could play into it, not just from the aggressive point of view either.
Yeah. It could be from the people uploading videos to YouTube, like you were.
No, not necessarily. It may not be racism in that sense. It's just a weird bias with them. What could be happening with people beating them? Yes, it could be racist. They could have something against the whites, because it was a white man and a pregnant woman, right? Getting beat.
Yeah.
Now, chances are these people that are doing this are poor and underprivileged, so they haven't had much of a chance in life. Their parents probably didn't care too much about them. which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So you got all that playing into a factor. They didn't grow up very well.
No.
And then people get desperate and they do stupid things like that, and they come up with stupid games like that because you put a bunch of bad people together and they're going to come up with bad things.
Yeah.
And
Let me say something. Some of the games, some of the things that they do, some of the people that challenge these guys to go knock them out. They don't. Some of them do it for money. Some of them don't. Some of them do it just because they want to see if they can knock somebody out.
Yeah, well, some people too. Remember, if these people are poor, they really don't have much in life to begin with.
Yeah.
So they don't have much to lose either.
Yeah, that's true. So
they
just
don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care, and they get a thrill.
Well, there's an awful lot of people out there that don't care. Then.
And then why they get a thrill of this, I don't know. They're just sick.
And what I don't understand is where the hell is the parents at with all this? Because these kids are young. These kids are pretty young.
It comes back to what I said originally.
Yeah.
If they grew up in an underprivileged household, in an underprivileged neighborhood, with underprivileged people, neighbors, underprivileged parents, they probably don't give a shit. Like no one really cares about anything. So anything goes on, anything goes. These people their parents probably don't care. They just see them whenever. That's probably what happens.
So then, would you say it's only underprivileged kids that are doing this, or would you say that it goes throughout everybody?
It could be. I think you probably see it more with poor people, and some people
like the projects or some type of
because think about it. When you're poor, people get very, very desperate when they're poor.
Yeah.
People don't have much when they're poor, so they don't have much to lose if they do go to jail. If they get arrested. If the parents don't care, the parents aren't going to get pissed off.
Yeah.
So a lot of it could be, just that having a really, really bad childhood. Like all of that led up to this, and then of course, like what outside agencies that way. Is anyone really doing anything about it? No, we just push them away. That is the solution. When you have a bad neighborhood, eventually it's going to get torn down, and eventually, because chances are these people are just squatting there anyways, in some really bad neighborhoods. So they'll just tear it down and push them away, and the crime goes elsewhere.
And then they're going to lash out at people.
And then everybody wonders why crime got so bad in another neighborhood. Well, you tore down their other hideout.
So I want to ask this. You asked this earlier, and I just want to do it on the live show for the people that are watching. You guys can comment down below. Do you think that if Martin Luther King was alive today, now it kind of doesn't tie into this, but do you think if Martin Luther King was alive today, things would be different? I want to ask the viewers that too.
I think racism-wise, probably could be. Because he had
he was a powerful man.
He had a very powerful message.
Yes.
Man, he was the one that had the balls to finally stand up against this crap.
Yes.
It had been going on for years. Segregation. What you
can do if you haven't seen the YouTube videos is just search up knockout game on YouTube, and there's tons of videos on there. Just take a look at those, and you can see what I'm talking about. How devastating and kind of crazy somebody could come up with this type of game and think that it's fun.
Yes.
How can that be fun of beating somebody? There was one girl that was pregnant. Okay, let me quote this here. Mark Cumberland was walking out of a pizza shop when someone approached him asking for a cigarette. Before he could get his hand out of his pocket, there was 4 kids on top of him beating him. Cumberland tells CBS, this is a quote, "There's no reason at all. I mean, I didn't get robbed. They didn't take anything from me. They just beat me up. It was hard seeing, and I'm still having trouble breathing and swallowing." So there was obviously no reason. He didn't know the people. They just all of a sudden came across him and just knocked him out or tried to beat him up.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Well,
pretty insane, in my opinion.
When you think about it,
people are saying that this is a hate thing because there's been a lot of videos on YouTube with African Americans beating up white guys. So a lot of people are saying that this is has to do with racism or something like that. And what do you think? What do you think about that, Erwin? Do you think it has to do with racism, or do you think it's just like people say it's just the people that's uploading the video?
Before you go at it,
I think they just do it for the video.
Just do it for the video?
Making hits like a black man hits a white guy, so I think they do it for the hits.
Okay, yeah.
For the hit rate.
I want to say this.
Yep.
It's nothing new.
No. Well, yeah.
The game itself might be new.
Yeah, no.
Beating up people.
No, the game is not
new.
The game's been around for a while.
Like that particular story about a man came up to him asking for a cigarette, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
And how many times that has happened quite often in many different situations. They ask for a cigarette, and they got and when they do get a chance to say no, next thing